All right, let's run to the phone. State Senator Kelly Hancock is here. Little legislative update. Kelly, hi. Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, good morning, Mark.
So I mentioned I don't know who the quote is from, but maybe a number of people have said it, and you tell me how the path is carved forward to get there, that there is no property tax relief until my tax bill goes down. Would you say that's a fair thing for most voters to say?
That's probably a fair thing for voters to say.
So how are we doing? How's the progress on that? What's that looking like?
Well, Mark, really local property taxes are determined at the local level, and what we can do at the state level is provide reforms to do a couple of things. To make the message clear when your taxes are going up, that they don't get to say, effective rate. They don't get to use these strange terms that property owners have no idea what they're talking about. If they're going to raise your taxes, if their revenue is going to increase, if what you have to pay goes up, they just need to have the language that says, here's what the increase is. And so, we're trying to simplify that so property owners actually understand their tax bill. They actually understand the notices and the announcements. And then we're looking at trying to rein in local growth and local spending the same way that we've done at the state level, to the point that, frankly, we're just not taxing people out of their homes.
I think it's an old Dan Patrick line that the way property taxes are, you never own your home. Your home can be paid off, but you still don't really own it because you remain shackled to the government for that obligation of property tax.
Well, and it's gotten to the point now that depending on how long you've owned your home, your property tax bill may be higher than what your original mortgage bill was. Yeah. And that's just crazy.
That it is. All right, what else is going on? We're weeks into the session. Things are humming along, and there's kind of a period where stuff can't really be brought up except by an emergency measure. In the earliest going, Greg Abbott laid out a couple of those in his State of the State. What's on your plate this week?
Well, the emergency measures are what we're looking at. As you know, we've already met on the Property Tax Committee. We've voted that out of the Senate Committee. We are working closely with our House colleagues on that legislation, doing that. I know they voted out, I believe, yesterday, the mental health reforms that are in there, and we've been meeting since day one in Finance, which serve on the Finance Committee. Literally every agency coming before us, and we'll break down and kind of getting into that with big issues such as Harvey. We're still paying for Harvey. There's a huge burden on the state for that, and addressing school safety. So we've got, it's early, and you're right. We can't really hear anything that's not an emergency item, but we're already moving pretty rapidly.
Are there elements of the ongoing border story in the federal budget border compromise that may be in the works? How does that impact Austin, and what's the sort of the handoff, the trade-off, the relationship, the Venn diagram between what the nation does for the Texas border and what the Texas legislature concerns itself with on the Texas border?
Yeah, Mark, that's a great question. As you know, and unfortunately, I don't think a lot of people understand, especially those in the state of Texas, is that we're spending roughly $800 million every biennium doing the work that the federal government wasn't doing along the border. So we've increased reinforcements. We've got additional technology down along the border. We have boats that are apprehending drug smugglers and along the border, and so we are spending, Texas tax dollars that could go towards roads, towards education, towards health services, doing the jobs, waiting on the federal government to fund the proper type of border security we're looking for, and it's costing, and it has cost for the last three sessions under Governor Abbott, the state roughly $800 million every biennium.
Last thing, and it goes back to property taxes, because I think as you guys work through committee and work on some type of property tax reform, individual cities, counties, towns, they are going to be, it's already happening. They are squealing like stuck pigs. Government never likes to be told that it'll have to get by with less money or have to tighten its belt, as American families and individuals have to do every minute of every day. Are you already hearing pushback from municipal organizations and all these various umbrella groups? Oh, we're not going to be able to pay anybody anymore. We can't get any more cops. People will be starving and dying in the streets. The usual panic when the money spigot tightens.
Mark, I'll tell you that 100% of the testimony opposed to Senate Bill 2, which addresses property tax reforms, 100% of the testimony opposed to that was either taxpayer-funded lobbyists or taxpayer-funded employees.
Do tell.
So, do tell. Go figure. And yet 80% of the oral testimony was that people drove down, they left their jobs. 80% of the testimony by private citizens that gave of their time, they came to the state and testified were in support of the bill.
Also known as real people.
Real people.
Alrighty, man. Kelly, thank you so much. Kelly Hancock, District 9, Texas Senate. Always great to be with you. Thank you so much.
Hey, great to speak with you, Mark.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
You betcha. That's Kelly Hancock in the Texas Senate.